If you're starting architecture school this year, watch this video before your first day. Because succeeding in architecture is less about the software you use or your drawing skills and way more about your mindset. And trust me, I know what I'm talking about. I've been through 5 years studying architecture in both France, Germany and Spain. And today I'm sharing with you the lessons I wish someone had taught me before starting architecture school, so you can start right from day one. Also, as you can hear, my voice is quite rocky, I'm a bit sick, but I really wanted to make this video to tell you all of this before your semester actually starts. So sorry about the weird voice, and I hope you will still be able to get value out of this video. So let's get going. To me, the first and the most important mindset shift to do when you're starting architecture is to accept to be in a learning position. Actually, in many countries, architecture is not a university, but an architecture school. This means you're in school like if you were in primary school again. You are learning from zero. You have to accept that you have pretty much no knowledge about this topic. I think too many people start architecture school thinking that they already have some experience or some knowledge and don't accept to just start from zero and build their knowledge from the ground up. So no matter how good you are at math, at physics, at art in high school, architecture school is just a very new field and you're starting fresh like everyone else. So just accept it, embrace it, be curious, ask questions, read, listen or watch content about it, and really accept that you don't know much about it and it's fine and you'll just learn along the way. So stop comparing yourself with other students who might have some more practice or have more knowledge, and really embrace starting this new field and learning from zero. Another very important mindset shift that you have to make is to embrace experimentation. Your first year projects in architecture school might really look like kindergarten exercises, and that's exactly on purpose. I think when we enter architecture school, we have this big vision of what an architect is and the great work that they do, and then when we have some weird exercises where we're supposed to experiment, a lot of people actually just don't understand what the point is. But in first year, the teachers will ask you to build weird models, to create strange drawings, or just invent spaces that don't really make sense. But you have to understand the goal isn't to make polished buildings yet. You'll have enough time to do that. The goal with these exercises is to actually stretch your creativity, show you that there's no boundaries, and it's a moment where you can free up your mind and really get as crazy as you can. So embrace the chaos, because it's really the only time in your career that you will be encouraged to do that wild designs. So don't take things too seriously, experiment, try new things, try new techniques, and just try to broaden the possibilities so that then when you will be making projects that will be way more concrete, you will still have this creative mindset, this freedom to make projects that are way more interesting. Another mindset shift that is so important, and I think most architecture students fall into this trap, is to stop being a good student. I think most of us were good students when we were in high school. We were following instructions, doing our homework. We understood that when you follow the method and apply everything that the teacher says, you will end up having a good grade. But in architecture, it doesn't really work the same. First of all, there is no method that always works, especially for a project. But also, instructions in architecture are not boundaries, they are frames. And if you follow instructions too closely, it might actually limit you. Teachers expect students to use instructions as guidelines, but then adapt them for their own project. They think you have the maturity to make your own decisions. So don't try to hand in the perfect solution, try to hand in your solution. And all you need is to back everything up with strong design arguments. That's what professors really want to see. So get creative, push the limits of the instructions that were given to you, and always make everything bond together by really strong design choices. The next mindset shift that you need to adopt when doing architecture is to learn to stand up for your work. In architecture, we're working with projects and you're the one making them. So the only person responsible for what you're designing is yourself or your group. And if you want to make your project work, you have to stand up for it. You have to communicate it with your own words and with your own ideas. So no, architecture is not just about designing, it's also about communicating. meeting. So you'll need to explain your ideas clearly to professors and to juries, and most of the time you will have to get out of your comfort zone to actually be able to do all of this. Because I believe in high schools you mostly hand in written things, but in architecture it's the central part of our work. Every project ends up with an in-person presentation, and presentation skills is really something that you have to master. So really you need to get into the mindset that you will be explaining all your design choices, that you will be presenting your projects, and that communication is super important. So practice sketching fast, practice talking about your project in simple words, and learn to tell a story with your design. And finally, to me, it's the most important mindset shift that you need to make for architecture. It is that you need to set your own boundaries. In high school, you have your homework, and when you're done, you are free. In architecture, projects take way longer. They're sometimes a semester long. And so if you don't learn to take breaks, to say, stop, now I'm not working anymore, you just end up working 24/7 for a semester straight. But this is just not possible. So a very important change that you need to make is to be an adult, a grown-up, and organize yourself, organize your time, organize your tasks, and learn to say stop when you're actually working. And yes, architecture has the reputation of being very intense, people doing all-nighters, but you really don't have to do it if you are well organized and if you put your own boundaries. So make the switch as early as you can, because you don't want to start your first year doing all-nighters and just burning out after a year or two. This is not sustainable. Architecture is not a sprint, it's a marathon. So please keep your strength for later. Learn to manage your time, take some rest days, eat well, and keep some hobbies outside of architecture. Trust me, the best ideas will often come to you when you're not in the studio. So if you're starting architecture school this year, embrace experimentation, stop trying to be perfect, learn to communicate, and don't forget to live your life outside of the studio. And also, I'd really love to know in which architecture university you're going to study. So really write in the comments the university where you will be studying next year. And if you have questions for other architecture students, make sure to write them down below so that other students can respond to you, and who knows, maybe you will connect with a future classmate. And if you want to go even deeper, check out my other video where I share my top mistakes in architecture school so you don't have to repeat them. And good luck to you on your journey. I really hope you will like architecture. And that's it from me for today. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!